You want to talk about a really funky AI ad or a bunch of really funky AI ads? Well, you know, Skechers, the shoe brands, they are coming out with an absolute banger to start the day. This just cracked me up. This is posted by Bill McCartney on TikTok.
You know Skechers, the shoe company? They're completely broke. They have this new shoe called the Uno. Maybe it's an old shoe, I don't know. But they have all these new ads that I have seen on the Los Angeles public transit system at all the train stations. There's all these ads, and guys, they can't afford real models or real artists.
You mean Skechers can't afford to pay models? Let's see Skechers' net worth, guys. We have macrotrends.net Skechers USA net worth, and it says that as of August 29, 2025, their net worth is $9.4 billion. What a shame that you can have such a massive net worth and you can't afford to hire a couple models and a couple photographers for your brand new shoe or old shoe.
Like, okay, so that's the real shoe, right? That was probably put in there with Photoshop. But like, what's going on with her? Did no one check this? Why is the underside of her hat a different color back there than it is in the front? What's causing these colors on her face? Why does the brim
Yeah, the colors on the face really don't make any sense. With like marketing campaigns like this, where you have a poster, a billboard to sell a product, there's typically a story that is told. Like, why should we buy your shoe? What is selling the shoe for us, right? Blonde lady with a bob and random rainbow colors painted across her face. There's no story here. There's nothing in this that sells a shoe to us. You like shittily photoshopped a shoe onto this graphic, right? And then called it a day.
of the hat have two seams? You see that? We got 1 and 2. What is that about? This one's a little better, but like, you can't really bend your knees like that and have your feet facing this direction.
And where did the pants go? This part of her leg is so long. And then the pants droop all the way down here and they just disappear. And what are all the colors like behind her arms?
And what is going on with this hand over here? I mean, like, yeah, I technically could bend, hand? I could bend my fingers like that. It's just not, it's not a natural or...
There are also 4 fingers. Maybe the pinky is hidden by the thumb. Maybe in some coinkadink, you know, hand pose situation where, how is it even possible? Wait, how do you do that? Like, uh, 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 yeah, no, I'm not buying it.
comfortable position. Oh, guys, they're out of money. They don't have any money. And if they can't afford to have anyone double check the art, I mean, art in quotes, you know, it's generated, but like, if no one's double checking this, is anyone checking the shoes?
What is happening here, by the way? How is this supposed to sell the new shoe, right? Because here we have a tatted woman with her hair in a ponytail. Nothing wrong with that, right? What is happening with the left side of her face? Look at her ear. Like, she has like massive gauges in one ear and absolutely nothing in the other. A bunch of face tats. Is this a face tat or a head chain on top of her forehead? She's got pants with no button onto the jeans. Maybe that's a design choice for the jeans. Basically, it looks like they didn't even try with the AI generation. It wasn't even like they had a concept and they were like, okay, let's like work this together. It literally was like hot anime girl. Okay. They somehow put so many images on the graphic and it means literally nothing.
Are the shoes
Like very
any good?
Y2K.
Look at this tattoo. That is objectively hilarious.
I
It's
don't know what's
so
happening with the
bad.
tattoo.
And look at this ear. What happened to your ear, ma'am? But my favorite, right here, look at how the hair becomes a tattoo.
Oh wow, this
The
is a
strand
banger.
of hair comes down to her shoulder, and then it doesn't know what it's doing. It just becomes part of her arm. If the ear wasn't bad enough, look at these lips. What's going on?
Never mind. Never mind. I lied. These may not be face tats. These might be graffiti on the graphic. Possibly. The problem is, the fact that we can't tell is telling enough that this is bad. Not to mention the eyes are absolutely disastrous in size. The lips are disastrous in size too. It looks like somebody socked her in like the right side of her face and it swelled up. And they just left it like that. And the fact that she kind of has like the aegyo cell, the under eye bag, only on one eye is funny.
With your lips, and what is that tattoo above your eyebrow? It looks like you got a Sharpie, and without looking went...
So is that a tattoo? Is that a
That's
graffiti?
terrible. Oh, what's happening to your forehead? I even forgot. Is that jewelry? Is that a tattoo? What is happening with your hairline, ma'am? Are you okay? Blink if you need help, but you'd probably blink like this. Oh man, and it looks like Skechers even hired someone to Photoshop these shoes and socks onto her, but they didn't hire anyone who knew what they were doing. What the...
The shoe and socks being photoshopped onto the AI legs is insanely hilarious. What? So this is the absurd part to me, right? Because they photoshopped the shoes and socks on, that means they have to have a photo of the shoes and the socks. Likely, somebody was wearing the shoes and the socks that got photoshopped on. But yeah, this is the thing, right? They must have a photo of a model wearing the shoes and the socks, and they just chose not to do that and Photoshop it onto these shitty AI images.
The socks don't fit like that. Oh, Skechers, come on. Okay, so ignoring how the background is a mess. Actually, I can't ignore
This one I want to talk about in a minute.
then we can only assume that the shoes are the same. And it's sad to see a once massive company become this broke.
Here we have this post on TikTok by Mags Gia, where Mags says Skechers' recent AI subway placed next to a poster for SVA designed by illustrator, and I am so sorry, I'm not going to pronounce the name correctly, Teresa Fasolino. So on the left, we have one of these Skechers Uno AI ads where you can see it's that girl with the really, really, really long thigh bone, right? This is the AI ad again. Oh God, what in the AI is sorcery is happening over here? And again, this is what I mean, right? It's not selling the shoe. It's literally like shoe and then colorful AI girl. Like there's no story being told here. It's not making me want to buy the shoe. I look at the shoe and it's ugly, so we move on. Oh, this one, we're gonna go talk about that one. Here's another one. Again, you have the Skechers shoe and then AI woman. It literally looks like two separate things. This is the other one. Okay, AI woman, bunch of shoes. And this one, oh Lord, this one is the one where it's the tatted girl. So, okay, it looks like the face tats, the star and the eyebrow tat was graffiti, but that the head chain is actually part of the design. But what is happening here? Oh Lord, what is going on in the background? We've got wobbly buildings, Photoshop shoes. They're photoshopped so poorly onto the body because like the legs aren't even facing the right way. I literally feel bad. It's literally probably one sad intern who's stuck doing this and they stuck the intern with a job and they were like, yeah, you use AI to generate these images. And the intern's like, I don't know, bro. There's no way that the higher ups agreed to this. And if they did, which they probably did, that is absurd. Who thought this was a good idea? Genuinely. And then this is the poster. School of Visual Arts. And it says there's a whole world out there that now more than ever needs art. And it is a drawing of a cat in a windowsill looking up at the sun, which also has a face of a cat. Actually, no, this is the moon. I'm trolling. But it says SVA Summer 2025 posters created by Teresa Fasolino, an American illustrator born 1964 and School of Visual Arts member. She says she created this because, quote, something uplifting on the need for art, artists, and imagination in difficult times felt right, end quote. Then we have this one, and this I just thought was funny. This is posted to this Instagram page with the name of Tweenter, and it's a tweet written by Misty Maeve. And Maeve writes, when you generate ads with AI that was trained on corn. And this is the ad that we're talking about. Why is she posed like this? So she's sitting in a squat position, kind of leaning back on her hands, although take note that her hands are actually missing from this entire image, and she's squatting with her legs spread. She's wearing jeans, but her crotch looks weirdly fleshy. Why does it look like that? Why is she posed like that? And why would you ever pose a woman in this position to try to sell shoes? We're selling shoes, okay? You're completely missing the point here. And she's a white woman that suspiciously looks like Sabrina Carpenter or Sydney Sweeney that is sitting or squatting down a street of Japan, right? This is a very Japanese-esque architecture with these red paper lanterns hanging in the doorways. None of the paper lanterns are all even, by the way. These are all uneven. She's got no arms, right? Look at her arms. They just disappear. There are no hands, nothing. In a pose like this, you should be like leaning back on your hands or something because she's leaning backwards. And she has no shadow. There's like these weird, like squiggly rope shadows behind her, but she herself does not actually have a shadow, right? The shoe does, but she doesn't. And here's the thing, again, right? At these companies, there are a series of checks and balances you have to go through before the video, the ad is posted. It's not just one person who makes it and then posts it and it goes live, okay? There's a bunch of approvals that have to happen. You're telling me everybody approved this? Like, this is a multi-step process and nobody took 1 second to be like, hey guys, I think this looks really freaking weird and way too suggestive and sexual for our model to be posing like this. Model in quotes because it's an AI model, right? Oh, it just makes me feel gross looking at it. Look, I am all for people doing SW, whatever, but this is just weird for like a shoe ad. And again, yeah, what about the kids, right, who are walking by and just looking at this? But this is pretty in line for Skechers because they've been making a whole bunch of AI-related moves recently. This is an article posted to tech.yahoo.com December 18th, 2024 about a Vogue ad that Skechers put. This was the ad. It was for, I believe, the same shoe, the Uno, where they're just running AI ads. This is another AI image that they literally put in Vogue. And that was in December. And if I remember correctly, they put out like one more AI ad or something like that. And it was all about the same shoe. And here's the thing, this is the shoe, right? Swear to God, I feel like nobody would want to buy this shoe. This shoe's ugly. As a retired sneakerhead, this is gross. You know, for 85 US dollars, 85 of your hard-earned bucks to be spending on this, there's way better and cooler shoes out there for around the similar price range, okay, that you can get. Besides this is the shoe they're advertising. I have a conspiracy theory, a tinfoil hat theory, okay? And my conspiracy theory is that the shoes are ugly and nobody wants to buy it. So their logic is, okay, we need to put a bunch of marketing campaigns out so that we can get more people to buy this ugly ass shoe that nobody wants to buy. But we don't want to spend money for the marketing campaign because the shoe didn't make us money. So what's the solution? We run some AI ads. I don't know. That's my little conspiracy theory here. Could be wrong. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my conspiracy theory. But that's what I think was happening with that shoe. They've got way too much in stock. Nobody wants to buy it, and they're trying to spend as little dollars as possible to get rid of their inventory. I personally am really disappointed with Skechers. Not that I don't think ever owned one of their shoes, but what are your thoughts about this? Will you be purchasing from Skechers due to this? Will you not? Or are you just gonna be a gung-ho Skechers supporter no matter what? We'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And what are your thoughts about that ad where she was squatting? Because that's weird. Anyways, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on Etsy. I have emotes and overlays there for streamers. I also have a coffee with free resources for streamers and creators. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. Hope to catch you guys there or in another video. Peace.